it was pretty new for me. The book is pretty old. I think it was written in the 80s. And so there's, okay. I stepped in that one. I said, oh, I'm just going to go now.
It was in the 1900s. It was old.
All I meant by saying that is that since then, there has been a ton of research that has come out on the brain, how the brain works, and psychology, how we think and how we react. And so my intention really of going through the inner game of music and giving an introduction is more to give us some vocabulary and some ways that we can put our focus in beneficial, ways that will be beneficial to us. And you might see the tagline, when you stop trying, you start to succeed. And that seems really counterintuitive. And there might be some conclusions we jump to just by seeing that phrase. But for me, just to give you some backstory, I was a pretty quiet kid. My brother, just younger than me, Eric, very social. He knew everybody and everybody knew him. And he'd always ask, he'd come into my room and be like, hey, you want to go to this party with me? I'd be like, no, I just want to stay here and read a book. Part of it was because I didn't really care. But part of it was because I had this social anxiety, and I was really afraid of how I was perceived, and I was afraid of potential situations I could be put in. And that really kept me at home. And so the inner game, throughout my adult life, it's something that I've put a lot of attention in starting to look at the way I think, and working on things. So let's get into it. By the way, I prepared way more slides than we're ever going to get through today. And I did that on purpose. As I was going through, I was like, there's really two things I want. I want to give the information, of course, but really I want to have an experience here. Because I know that you're going to remember more by sharing, and you're going to remember more of your own thoughts that come to your mind than you are going to remember me rambling off. And so as we go through, basically, once it hits 11:35, can someone volunteer to be a timer for me? Oh, perfect. I'll be our timer. Be hardcore. As soon as it hits 11:35, we're going to cut and shift gears, okay? But in that time, we're just going to get through as much as we can, okay? But I encourage you, if something comes to mind, like an experience, a question, a story, I encourage you to share it, because that's the experience that we're meant to have today, okay? We can trust that. And then just with whatever comments we have, if we could keep it to about a minute, just in respect of everybody, so that everybody could have a chance to share, yeah? So, here we go. The origins of this book, The Inner Game of Music, actually comes from the inner game of tennis. And it was interesting, I actually talked to Dr. Glenn Webb a couple nights ago, and he said, I actually read The Inner Game of Tennis first, before I read The Inner Game of Music, and I actually liked The Inner Game of Tennis better and interpreting it to music. And so I'm like, oh, well maybe I should go read The Inner Game of Tennis, that's interesting. But this is the original, and written by Timothy Galloway, and it was adapted for music, the principles by Barry Green. And anyway, has anyone read The Inner Game of Music, by the way? A few. But it sounds like it's going to be pretty new for a good chunk.
The Inner Game of Tennis was assigned for my degree at BYU.
Oh, cool.
However many years ago that was.
And have you read both of them?
No, only The Inner Game of Tennis.
Oh, okay. Was this one written yet?
No.
Okay, so that would be why. Cool. Very cool. Oops.
Mental strength, which is what I think is your great gift.
So, AI, how is playing tennis or playing a sport like playing the piano? Well, both involve hard work and discipline, right? Both are forms of self-expression requiring balance of spontaneity and structure, technique and inspiration. Both demand a degree of mastery over the body, and both are performed in front of an audience most of the time. And because of that, it's an opportunity for us to share the enjoyment of that thing, or to be really nervous and feel the pressure and be scared of how we might be perceived, right? So the next video that keeps wanting to play is of Novak Djokovic, who is, if you know tennis, you know him because he's known as one of the greatest tennis players of all time. And he's talking about mental toughness. And I picked this one because I feel like he's really putting in a nutshell a lot of what we're going to talk about today. So let's give him a minute.
Mental strength, which is what I think is your great gift.
I would have to correct you. I have to correct you. It's not a gift. It's something that comes with work. Conscious breathing is a big part, especially in the moments when you're under tension. I don't like this kind of a mindset that I see a lot in sports, like just think positive thoughts, be optimistic. There's no room for failure and stuff like this. It's impossible.
You don't buy that.
You are a human being. The difference, I guess, between the guys who are able to be biggest champions and the ones that are struggling to get to the highest level is the ability to not stay in those emotions for too long. So as soon as I experience it, I acknowledge it, I maybe, burst, I scream on the court, whatever happens, but then I'm able to bounce back and reset.
Okay, so what sticks out to you from that clip?
To acknowledge it, but
Acknowledge
not
it?
stay there.
To say, hi, yep, you're here. But then to kind of move on, right? Anything else? Yeah.
I think you have to be aware that it's happening.
Yes.
You can't change what you don't acknowledge. And if you don't know what's happening, you can't even acknowledge it.
Absolutely. Awareness is the first step. Absolutely. And a big key to awareness, a really great author, if you want to write this down, Brené Brown. I know Caroline loves Brené Brown. I love Brené Brown. She's so good at educating on emotions that we feel, giving us vocabulary for different emotions. I mean, all you have to do is ask your student, how was your week been? Good. How do you feel about that? Good. Right? But oftentimes, if you pay attention, when we talk about emotions, we typically limit it to, I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel good, I feel bad, right? But there's such a vast range of emotions that we can feel, and the more curious we are and the better vocabulary we have emotions, and the better we can become aware and pinpoint, what am I feeling right now? And as we become aware, then we can start to acknowledge it and say, I'm feeling this. And that's okay. And it gives us the opportunity to move through it instead of being overcome by it, right? Anything else stick out? Yes?
You said we're all human beings, so it's like you said, it's not a gift. Everyone experiences performance anxiety to some degree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all different too, right? We all think differently at the same time.
It's not only okay to make mistakes, it's necessary. You have to.
I think, I've heard many people say, and I tend to agree, that in the AI age now, where everything can literally be perfect and be edited to be perfect, that things that are imperfect will actually become more valuable over time because it's human.
I was recording, I had to record a guitar solo, and my teacher who was recording me, he said, you are really nervous today, what is going on? And I said, I'm afraid. And he said, what are you afraid of? It's just you and me. I said that we'll have to do this 14 times and it will waste your time. It was interesting to me what the specific thing was, acknowledging what the specific thing was that I was afraid of.
What is it that you're projecting in your mind that could happen, right? Cool. So let's talk about inner game basics, and it's going to go a lot around what we've already said. But we're playing two games. Whether we're playing the piano, whether we're playing tennis, or whether we are just going about through life. Everything we do, we're playing two games. You have the outer game and the inner game. The outer game is simply everything that's happening out there. And so in our context, it's in the classroom, it's in the concert hall, it's in the band room, right? So right now I'm giving a presentation, right? And I want to nail it. That's the outer game. And so with the outer game, there's always going to be different kinds of obstacles. Other competitors, my own tongue, right, is an obstacle. Fast, intricate fingering passages, tone control, phrasing, whatever it is, right? Whatever you're trying to accomplish in your outer game or your performance. And your goal, of course, is to nail it, right? To get it as perfect as possible. That's the outer game. and to win. And of course, there are many books, many trainings, many methods, many podcasts. We've already heard a couple of presentations about how we can improve our outer game, right? And so, and perhaps too much information, right, to sift through, to where it's like, what do I even pay attention to? But do we listen and pay attention to what's going on in the inside? I know for me in my life, I didn't for a long time. And I was very consumed with my outer results. So the inner game is simply everything that's going on in your head, okay? And the obstacles of the inner game are mental. They're lapses of concentration, their nervousness, self-doubt, anything of that nature, right? Anything that's kind of getting in the way. So when we only think that we're playing the outer game, like I did for many years, that's a problem, because we're completely unaware of what's going on in the inside and how we might even actually be interfering with ourselves and our ability to achieve what we're trying to achieve. And the reality is that no matter what we're doing, we're always playing the inner game, every day. We're always in our head. And so mastering the inner game directly impacts the quality of your success in the outer game. Have you ever won a competition and still felt bad? Have you ever said like, oh, you know what, yeah, I got first place, or it went really well, but that just didn't work. Or have you ever had someone come up to you and congratulate you and thank you for your performance, and you said, well, thanks, but it wasn't that great. I did, and I had someone reprimand me once. Like, look, when somebody comes to compliment you, like they're giving you a gift, you need to receive it.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And that was a hard lesson for me to learn. But it was born out of my own insecurities. I'm like, you're just being nice, because in my own head, sometimes I would go up to someone and say, hey, great job. And then in my head, I'd be like, yeah, but you missed this, you missed that. And so what happens when somebody comes to me? Your mind is a mirror. Somebody comes to you then in that situation and says, hey, great job, I really appreciate that. And you go, yeah, well, you don't know. Right? Pay attention. Every thought you have is a mirror of how you perceive life and what's going on in life, and how, and your and projection of how you think someone else is thinking or behaving, right? The performance equation, it's really simple. I've done different equations like this. I like this one because it's just really simple. Big P equals little p minus I. Okay? Where big P equals the performance, the result that you achieve. And that is equal to little p, which is your potential at the time, all the abilities that you've amassed at that point, so the greatest possible potential you have, minus interference. Okay? And isn't that true?
My brain is the interference, in
Yeah.
essence, right?
Yeah.
Ha!
Our own thoughts, right? Something can happen in the world, on the concert stage. Someone can witness the exact same thing as a crowd of people, and everyone's going to look at it differently. There was, I remember a story of someone in California being stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and they've been stuck there, actually just sitting there for like an hour. And a reporter went up and talked to somebody in the car who was just furious. I'm going to be late for work, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, right? Walked it up to somebody else in a different car who was just completely relaxed and chill. Well, you know, I get to read a book now. This is great, you know. I actually left early for work today, so I'm not really in a crunch. Same experience, different reactions, right? And so it's not really the experience that's dictating anything. It's how we react to it, right? So take a quick minute, write on your phone, on paper, what's the most painful and unpleasant musical experience you've ever had? What were you thinking and what were you feeling? And there's a good chance, because it was so emotionally charged, you can probably think pretty in vivid detail, but write it down. Just kicked my water ball, the whole presentation just failed. I'm so embarrassed.
We need to talk.
Okay, take a few more seconds to finish up. Self one. So the book identifies two selves or two voices. The first one is self one, and the second one is self two. I like the simplicity here, right? Self one is the voice in our head that is our interference. Okay? It includes our judgments and associations. It speaks to how things should and should not be. It's our own thoughts about what our teacher said we should do, comments our friends gave us about how good we are or how funny that was, right? Or how embarrassing that was. Our parents' hopes and desires for us, and our urges to fulfill or reject those expectations, right? Among many other things. So basically, it's anything we think we should be doing or worrying about at this present time, right? And it often speaks in terms of the past or the future. So things that could have been, if only I had done this. Or the what ifs. What if, right? This is self one. So I couldn't help myself. Here's an example of self one.
Yeah, coach would have put me in fourth quarter. We'd have been state champions, no doubt. No doubt in my mind. I believe things have been different. I'd have gone pro. Heartbeat. I'd be making millions of dollars and living in a big old mansion somewhere. You know, soaking it up. A hot tub with my soul.
Do we ever find ourselves in that kind of state as Uncle Rico? See, anytime we're living in the past or we're living in the future, it's keeping us from living in the now, right? And so this is an example of Uncle Rico who, it's been a while since I've watched Napoleon Dynamite. Isn't really accomplishing much in his life, and it's because he's so focused on how things used to be or should have been, right? I was so good, and I should have gone pro, but coach didn't put me in fourth quarter, right? And it's interfering with his ability to actually make something of his life now, right? Pretty extreme example, but it happens in life, doesn't it? That's why it's funny. And we all do it to different degrees. So, recall the best musical experience you've ever had. What were you thinking? What were you feeling? Take a moment to live in that experience and write that down. As you're writing, I think I neglected to say, you have 11:35.
11:35. 10 more, sorry.
Yep.
Jump scare.
10 more.
I was like, ah.
That was a 10-minute warning.
I was like, no way, I just saw it, it was 23. Thank you, though. All of these slides are going to be up on the website, okay? So we're not going to get through all of them today, but you can still review them, okay? Okay, take a couple more moments to finish up writing this. Let's talk about self-2. Self-2 is our vast reservoir of potential, and it's in all of us, okay? I don't care if piano doesn't come naturally to you. You still have a vast reservoir of potential. even for people where piano doesn't come naturally, we know people where that has been the case and they have become some of the greatest masters because of how they move through it, right? Self 2 is our natural talents and abilities as well. A virtually unlimited resource that we can tap into. It's an unthinking state in which we are relaxed and yet aware. Some people would call it the flow state. There's many different names for it. Left to its own devices, without being interfered, it performs with gracefulness and ease. And perhaps as you were writing down your best musical experience, maybe that was part of it, where it just felt effortless. And if you're like me, you probably didn't really remember much about the performance itself, but just how you felt, right? In a nutshell, if it interferes with your potential, it's self 1. And if it expresses your potential, it's self 2. And I would also nutshell that if it's verbal thought, something you put into words, it's probably self 1, right? Have you ever tried to play and talk at the same time? It's a lot like that. It's interfering, it makes it harder. And I heard someone say this, and I love it. Get out of your head and into your heart. Get out of here and start living here, especially when you're trying to perform. And here's the thing, self-1 is not entirely always a bad thing. I often think of it as the practice brain, right? It's, I need to do this, I need to do that. This should be a little bit more like this should be a little more like that. I want it to be, right? My teacher said this, and practice brain, but how often do we practice getting into the self-tune brain, into this flow state? If you're like me, probably not as much, right? So here's an example of flow state. Maybe you've experienced something like this. So I feel like that's a really interesting portrayal of flow state on screen. The way that it slows it down and it kind of becomes muted, I think we can all relate to. And the way that it's portrayed, it can, especially since we weren't able to hear very good audio, it can maybe feel like maybe he's disconnected from what's happening, right? But I think, you know, we've all felt what that feels like, where everything just kind of goes away and you're just in the moment, right? And it's a very relaxed kind of awareness. Let's get through a couple of inner game skills slides here. So, states of mind. For most of us, it's the outer game that counts, right? If I win this competition, then I'll get this job, or if I win this audition, I'll get to go to this school. If my student wins this competition, then I'm going to be viewed as a pretty awesome teacher, right? That's what we're concerned with what we accomplish, whether we succeed or not, whether we win or lose. But if we're only focused on the outer game, then we are much more vulnerable to self-1. Have you seen this movie?
Yes.
This is Inside Out 2. So this is about a a character, a teenager. Her name's Riley, and she just moved from her hometown, and she's in a new place with new people. She loves hockey. Hockey is the world to her, but nobody knows her, and it's really intimidating for her. And she's at this hockey camp with this really good team. She wants to make the team really bad, but it brings in a lot of anxiety. Okay, so this character you see on the big screen is a portrayal of our anxiety. Okay, and so what you're going to see is an example of anxiety projections. Ready?
We need to help Riley prepare. Now's the time to send up every possible thing that could go wrong. We are looking to the future. Every possible mistake she could make. Come on, 17. I'm not seeing anything from you. Riley misses an open goal. Coach writes back on her book. Yes! More like that. Oh no, they're using Riley's imagination against her. Val and her friends like us now. But if we don't make the team, will they like us tomorrow? Okay, let's go to number 3. Reed races team win and we look stupid. Number 22, Val passes to us and we miss it. We can't let her do this to Riley. We have to shut this down.
Have we ever experienced that? Where we projected, like, what's all the possible things that could go wrong, right? And that's simply our brain. Our brain is literally designed to protect us, right? And so that's the brain's effort, whether it's helpful or not, to try to protect us from potentially harmful situations. But is it helpful? No, it was keeping her from falling asleep, right? And so what Joy does is she goes in and she says, let's send her all these positive thoughts. And it works for a little bit, enough for her to go to sleep, but then the next day, her anxieties, she internalizes her anxieties and ends up kind of living them out. And she gets put in the penalty box and she starts having a panic attack. And you can go into the slides and watch that under this lens. So all that to set up kind of what we're dealing with, right? And a little bit about how our brain works, and a little bit giving ourselves a little bit of awareness and vocabulary around self 1 and self 2, what that looks like. And the timer's going to go off any second. And so what I'd like to do is skip a whole bunch of slides. Oops. Go back one. That's coming up. I'm actually going to turn the time over to my wife for the next 15 minutes. My wife, Annalise Gubler, she's certified in a technique called cellular alignment, which I'll let her explain, but it's a way that we can tap into our self-2 and express our potential and navigate our self-1 tendencies. Okay? Time is yours.
Well, it's still morning, so good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. As Mark said, my name is Annalise, and I'm a violinist and a teacher, and this has been my dream forever, is to be a music teacher and to make an impact. And I can tell you there is nowhere I would rather be than in a room like this full of the most amazing musicians who have heart and who desire to share that with others. There's so much power there, and there's so much impact, and I just love it. I appreciate you, and I say keep going with it. Never stop, because it's so needed. I really, really appreciate Mark and the message that he wanted to share, because this can apply in so many different ways, and it is so easy to let that outer game just completely ruin our music experience, whether that be performing or teaching or presenting or whatever it be. So I love and appreciate him for that. And I also love that he had the insight that he went, man, there's so much information here, but what's the one thing that, you leave a presentation like this and it's like, yeah, this rings true. I get it, I understand it. But the obstacle is always, how? How do we actually get from that outer game to that inner game? And so I just love that he's like, hey, let's show them a tool. And this is my favorite tool. As he said, it's called cellular alignment. And what you'll recognize is that there are hundreds of tools that really can help you get from outer game to inner game. Don't box yourself in as far as tools that are available to you, because they are abundant, they are effective, and they are so helpful. They're just gold. But cellular alignment has, to me, it's kind of like a salad where it takes all these tools and ingredients and it pulls them all together, and you get the most delicious meal out of it. And so you'll recognize some things. We're going to do some breathing, right? Maybe you've studied breathing and the effects that breathing can have on your game. We're going to do tapping. Maybe if you've learned anything about tapping and the effects that can have. Even just the act of smiling, the act of shaking out energy. There's so many different things that come into cellular alignment that we're going to experience. But I just want to be really clear and get an idea of where you guys are at. Raise your hand if you have experienced the outer game of music. Have you ever lived there? I'm pretty sure everyone has. If you haven't, oh my gosh. You haven't experienced the outer game. That is a first. Raise your hand if you have experienced the inner game, where you're in that flow state and it feels so good. And now, I would like you to raise your hand if you want access to tools that can get you from outer game to inner game reliably, confidently, and in a short amount of time. Like this is gold. And so, before I share with you that tool, I want to prepare you a little bit. I will be asking a handful of you to perform for us after this exercise. And so, be thinking about that. And also, I want to prepare you. Can you pull out paper, pencil, laptop, whatever it be? Because I'm going to have you write down a number real quick. And I would like you to write down a number between 1 and 10. 1 being you do not want to perform today. You do not want to perform at the end of this exercise. You are not feeling confident, don't want to touch it. And then a 10, of course, being like, yeah, I'm ready. Whatever it is, send me up. I can do this. So go ahead and write that number down. All right. And now I need to teach you a little thing of what we're going to be doing. The whole exercise is, it's called the shotgun alignment that we're going to do today. It is the shortest and it is probably the least personal of all the alignment techniques, but can be super effective because it's fast, for one, and for two, lots of targets, right? We're working with a lot of people here in this room. But we're all going to need to do something. So go ahead and stand up for me real quick. All right, we all have arms, we all have fingers. This is looking good in here. So I want you to start tapping anywhere on your body. This is one of the things I'm going to ask you to do. And good, you've all mastered that. Congratulations. Yes. The next thing I would like for you to do is a little bit tricky, so watch carefully. We are going to be practicing breathing and tapping at the same time. So I'm going to breathe in through my mouth, and I'm going to start tapping from the top of my head, and I'm going to go down as far back as you are comfortable with, but you'll find that it gets really comfortable as you go back. So after we breathe in and go down, then we're going to breathe out of our mouth, going down the same way. And again, in through the nose, and out through the mouth, and in through the nose. Just relax and enjoy it, and out through the mouth. And then we're going to pant. So I want you to feel from your diaphragm, and we're just going to, it's a self-induced hyperventilation. Here we go, still tapping. Woo! You're doing it. Now I want you to shake it out. Do what I call a cleansing breath. and smile nice and big. It's even better if you choose someone to smile at. Good. All right. Now, already, how many of you feel like, oh, that kind of felt good?
Yeah.
It can be kind of relaxing just doing that part. All right. Now, go ahead and sit down real quick. Okay. Now, we are going to start listing our non-ideals and our ideals. So think of this performance coming up in just a few minutes. What do you not want to experience? What would your least, like all the feelings, all the anxieties that could possibly come up, what are you experiencing? We'll just rapid fire these, so yell them out.
Embarrassed.
Embarrassed.
My mind goes blank.
Blank.
Angry at yourself.
Angry! Oh, I totally get there. I can be pretty hot-headed sometimes. What else?
Regret.
Regret? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Reluctant.
There's some resistance,
Shy.
right?
Shame.
Shame, yes.
There's a grenade right
What about feelings of inadequacy? This is a very talented room.
For sure.
This is a hard room to perform in,
now. You
right?
just mentioned it about an hour ago, imposter syndrome, right?
Yes, imposter.
I don't want to feel unprepared.
Unprepared, right? And I'm putting you on the spot.
Totally. Did you want to know what my number was?
Yes.
1.
So 1. Well, at least it was 0, right? If
I'm
anyone's ever like,
not ready.
Scale of 1 to 10, I'm like, there's a 0. Awesome. Thank you. Now, what does your body experience when you're feeling these things?
Tension.
Tension. Love it. Keep going. Keep shouting them out.
Sweating.
Yes.
Increased heart rate.
Heart rate.
Sick stomach.
Yes. Sick stomach.
Shaky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jittery.
Does anyone else, like, their body temperature lowers so much then your fingers go to ice and then you can't move them? That's mine.
Those fingers.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. That is a fantastic list. Now I want you to think for a second, and Mark was so kind to get you started on this, of those experiences that you've had where you're in flow state, where everything just seems to go right. For me, it's always performing for my grandma. And I don't know what it is about performing for her, but it always feels so right. So when I go to perform, I'm like, that's what I want. That's what I want to experience for me. That's what I want others to experience. And so I want you to just find that moment. And again, we're going to write down these ideals. What do you want to experience? And what does it look like for you to be in flow state?
Sharing.
Sharing. I love that.
Confidence.
Confidence.
Clarity.
Peace.
Peace. Yes.
In the zone.
The zone, right?
Energy. Like
Energy.
And you feel proud of yourself in all the right ways.
Yeah. What else?
Certainty.
Yes, certainty. What does your body experience when you feel this? You feel calm, capable.
There's an ease. It's like you're not working.
Yes. Ease. What does your body feel?
Sometimes you're not thinking. I think that was on the slideshow. Like you don't think.
Yes, you're in your heart, right?
Freedom.
That is my favorite word of all of my musical experiences. In fact, that word came to me when I was sitting back there. I started crying a little bit. I'm like, oh, this is a good way to start. Freedom.
Syncing between my brain, my spirit, and my body is just I feel more human
Yeah, so
than
like,
any other time.
like synergy, right? Oh, I love that so much.
I'm going to say joy.
Oh, Patrice, I was too.
We're
It
opposite.
just bubbles right up.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What do we do when we feel joy?
Smile.
We smile. And how many teachers have ever been like, don't forget to smile? And you go on stage and you're like, smiling is so pretty. But when you're in this state, it's authentic. It feels so good. So we smile. And it's kind of the opposite of this, right? Our heart doesn't race. We're not sweating. Our stomach doesn't feel sick. Like, it's just
Harmonious.
harmonious. Love that. Okay, thank you so much. This is a beautiful list. So now I'm going to have you guys stand up again. All right. And for a lot of us, I'm going to have you repeat after me. We're going to tap anywhere in our body. So go ahead and do that with me. Start tapping anywhere, and I mean anywhere. If you need to poke your eyeball, do that. Like just, but you're going to follow the energy, right? So if you're feeling really sick in your stomach, that's a great place to tap. If you're like, oh my gosh, my feet won't stop shaking, start making your way down to your feet, whatever it may be, but we're going to tap. And, again, you're going to follow that energy, and you're going to repeat after me. I feel embarrassed. Everyone in this room is so talented, and I just don't feel like I'm there. My mind is going blank. And I don't think I can think clearly. My heart is racing. And I feel sick. Good. Now we are going to align. So it's that exercise of breathing in through our nose and tapping out through the mouth. So here we go. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just take a second to feel it. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. One more time. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. And now you're going to pant. And now you're going to shake it out and smile. Nice cleansing breath. Awesome. Whew. All right, now we're going to go back to it. I'm angry.
I'm angry.
Why the heck am I angry? I don't even understand it. I don't understand all of these feelings I'm feeling, but it's a lot. I don't want to perform. I just don't want it. I feel ashamed. Because I didn't practice. And my teacher told me to do this, and I don't want to. I didn't sign up for this. It's not my choice. And I am feeling all sorts of unprepared. Very good. All right, let's align. So in through the nose. And out through the mouth. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. One more time. And out through the nose. And now you're going to pant from the diaphragm. Good. Shake it out. Smile. Cleansing breath. Feel chills if you want. All right. Okay, back to tapping. Repeat after me. My body is out of control. My heart is racing. My face is flushing. What is this feeling? My hands are shaking. My fingers aren't listening to me. I feel numb. I feel frozen.
I feel frozen.
And cold. And I don't like this. Good. A line into the nose. Out through the mouth. Into the nose. And out through the mouth. One more time. And hand. Good. Go ahead and shake it out. Smile real big. If you want to smile at the people around you and share that happiness with them, go for it. Whew, there we go. Whew, you've been working hard. We're halfway there. All right, so here we go. I may feel all of these things.
I feel all of these things.
I may not understand any of these feelings.
I may not understand any of these feelings.
But I'm okay.
But I'm okay.
And I'm okay with feeling it.
I'm okay with feeling it.
I love and appreciate my body.
I love and appreciate my body.
I love that my body's trying to protect me.
I love that my body is trying to protect me.
And it's okay. I can feel these nerves.
It's okay. I can feel these nerves.
Good. The line through the nose. And out through the mouth. Through the nose. Out through the mouth. One more time. And pant. Good. Shake it out. Smile. Awesome. When it comes down to it, I love my instrument. I love performing. I love the feeling of the keys under my fingertips.
I love the feeling of the keys under my fingertips.
I love the opportunity I have to express myself and just dive right into my instrument.
I love the opportunity to express myself and dive into my instrument.
Sorry, my sentences are getting long. I love the look on my grandma's face when I finish performing.
I love the look on my grandma's face when I finish performing.
I love the sparkle in my students' eyes when they see me perform.
I love the sparkle in my students' eyes when I see me perform.
I love and appreciate the composers that allow me to experience their music.
I love and appreciate the composers that allow me to experience their music.
I'm so grateful and so thankful
I'm so grateful and so thankful
that I get to feel calm.
that I get to feel calm.
I get to feel peace.
I get to feel peace.
I get to feel joy
I get to feel joy
and passion.
and passion.
I'm so grateful I chose to do this.
I'm so grateful I chose to do this.
Good. Let's go ahead and align it into the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Mouth. And one more time. And pant. Good. Shake it out. Smell nice and good. All right. We're going to do this one more time. And what we're going to do is those who feel the word that they want to share, just yell it out loud. And if you want to repeat that word, then repeat it. All right? So I'll start. I'll say, I'm so grateful and so thankful I can feel. I'll say the word. You can repeat it. And then just everyone else, that word you want to feel or that you are feeling, yell it out. And as a group, we'll all repeat it. So here we go. I'm so grateful and so thankful.
I'm so grateful and so thankful
that I can feel freedom.
that I can feel freedom.
I can feel relaxed.
feel capable.
I can feel calm.
I
I
can
can
feel
feel
calm
calm.
and confident.
I can feel confident.
I feel joy.
I can feel
feel
joy.
I can feel happy.
I can feel happy.
Feel excited.
I can
Feel excited.
I can feel love.
I can feel love.
I could feel one with my instrument.
I can feel one with my instrument.
All right, let's align. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time. And pant. A big smile and shake it out. Awesome. All right. Go ahead and have a seat. And I want you to write a number. And in this moment, I want you to write a number between 1 and 10. Same scale. 1 being, I want nothing to do with performing. Mid being like, oh, I can do this. And 10 being, I want to do this. I want to perform for the class right now. Go ahead and just write down your number.
So as you get your number, you might recall at the beginning, asked brave souls to put their name in the bowl, right? How many of you put your name in the bowl? Raise your hand. Not everybody, right? So we don't have time to really get into it. We're not actually going to make you perform today. We wanted to put you in that mental state of putting yourself up against potential self-one interference. If you put your name in the bowl, why did you put your name in the bowl? Okay? If you didn't put your name in the bowl, what kept you from putting your name in the bowl? I heard Denise here say, I said, you're always the first one up. She said, well, when I take part in things, when I experience it, I learn more. That was her reason for putting her name in the bowl. Is anyone brave enough to share why they didn't put their name in the bowl? Yes, Rebecca.
I just knew that I wasn't ready to play or to share anything outside of my own head and hands. I just knew I wasn't ready.
Do you regret it in any way at this point? Or are you still okay with that?
I'm okay with my decision, and I regret not having been working more studiously so that I could have shared, because I do deeply enjoy that experience.
Sure. Thank you for sharing. So what I did actually, what is happening is, funny story, I thought I had lost my book, The Inner Game of Music, so I ordered a used copy, and I got the used copy, and Annalise saw it, she said, we have that book, it's on the shelf, and I went, and she said, it's right there, and I was like, it's right there. And so I'm going to give away a free book.
It's one of those a man in the fridge type thing. Where is it? It's right in front of you. No, it's not.
Christy Anderson.
Woohoo!
Grab yourself a free book. It's used, there are things in it, they are not mine, but,
Thank you.
but you got a book.
All right, real quick. I'm curious, your numbers. Can you raise your hand if your number shifted? Did it shift at all? Raise your hand. Did it take an extreme amount of time to get there? No. Is this the type of thing you could do before any performance? Or a studio performance where you gather your students together and you say, hey, let's go through this. Let's address some of these issues. Let's shift your energy, because even one point of shifting that energy will have a wonderful impact on your performance. But if you can shift from a 1 to a 10, like how many of you had a more than 2-point shift? Higher, because this is so cool, guys. More than 3 points? Yeah, like that's so cool that you can move that fast. So, and like I said, what you just experienced, that was such a short version of what cellular alignment can be. So if you want to experience greater depth into that technique, which is so cool, text Mark. I'll write his number on the board. Or if you want to learn how to better officiate something like that for when you have, students going into recital and you can help them and work them through and use this tool for them, also text Mark, because that's what we're here for, is to help musicians enjoy their experience, because it's worth it. So anyway.
So before we break for lunch, sorry, couple things. One thing that we didn't get to in the slides that's really important for getting to self-2 is giving yourself permission to fail. Okay? One of the things I love about cellular alignment and what we just experienced is it helps you get into that state of like, I'm feeling the opposites. I'm feeling what could go wrong, and I'm feeling what's happening in my body and all that anxious energy. And I'm also feeling what I want to feel and what I want to experience, right? And it allows you to get into a state of clearing that up and just being like, and if I do experience these negative things, I'll be okay, and I can trust that I am strong enough to move through that. Plus it incorporates the tapping, the breathing, the smiling, which helps you physiologically work through that anxious energy as well, okay? Not just from a mental standpoint. So go check out that slide. Give yourself permission to fail. And that also means we have to be willing to give our students permission to fail and not give them major guilt trips if they fail. But recognize that they are whole and complete exactly how they are and who they are, whether they practice or not. All right, and last thing is free giveaway. So the last couple of years I've dove into arranging a whole bunch of different things. Some's for piano, violin, some's for solo piano, some's for piano and voice. I'd love to give anybody and everybody a free copy of something. To do that, you can see the list of what's available by scanning the QR code, and then just simply email me the title that you want me to send you, and I'll send you a free PDF over email, okay? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.